The events portrayed in this video are based upon real events. The names and locations have been changed. The instructors in this videotape are certified professionals who have survived numerous real-life firearm engagements. It is their intent to only familiarize the viewer with the subject of firearm safety based on their experience. The producers of this videotape endorse neither pro-gun or anti-gun political entities. They do endorse the education of firearm safety to all persons, whether they believe in guns or not. They ask that you seek out certified firearm instructors for hands-on gun safety education. This tape does not provide any information directly or indirectly about firearm laws. Firearm laws can be complicated. We ask that you consult your local district attorney for any questions. This tape is not intended to be a substitute for live expert instruction.
You're going down, mister. I'm Jackie Chan. I'll get you. Karate chop this. Whoa, man, put that thing up. What's the matter? Can't handle this? Man, are you crazy? That thing's not about to go off. It's unsafe, see?
Unfortunately, gun accidents happen every day. And just like knowing how to swim will reduce your chances of drowning, so gun safety education keeps you safe from firearms accidents like the one you just witnessed. It doesn't matter who you are. Everybody loses when you argue over a gun. You don't have to say anything to anybody. Just leave, and leave as fast as you can. If that one safety rule had been followed, the incident that you just witnessed might not have ended here. Hello, my name is Jim Hodges. For over 27 years in the military and police work, I've seen gun violence in about every way you can see it. I have a passion about firearm safety. I want to introduce you to a friend. He's made it his personal commitment to educate all persons about firearm safety. He currently holds seminars on firearm safety across the nation. His name is Dan West.
Serving as a bodyguard to high-ranking government and corporate officials, as well as 2 combat tours as a United States Marine and champion shooter.
Thanks, Gabriel, for the child safety case. This will work just fine for my gun.
Thanks, Dan. Come back and see us again.
Hello, my name is Dan West, and I would like to help you become more familiar with and understand the need for gun safety. It is a fact that guns have been a part of our society since this country was first settled, as well as when the United States was conceived, and they have been used to preserve our freedom as well. It is a fact that we cannot dismiss that guns are a part of our society and will be well into the future. If you believe that because you do not own a gun that you don't need to know about them, I ask you to consider this. Why do you look both ways before you cross the street? Because of the other car, correct? That is exactly why you need to know about gun safety. Because of the abundance and availability of guns in today's society, you can come across one or into contact with one at any time.
We read about gun accidents every day, and we see guns used on television as well as in the movies. If this is the only education that you or your children receive about firearm safety, then you have no one to blame but yourself if you or your children come into contact with a gun and someone is injured or killed. It is the lack of proper education that makes us nervous and afraid of guns. This in itself is not a bad thing. However, since guns have been around for over 500 years, it is not realistic to assume that we will never ever come into contact with a gun. For those people who do not prepare for a test in school, the test can become a very scary thing indeed. Can you pass the firearm safety test? By preparing for it, you can.
As you can see, we are exposed to firearms every day of our life. We see them on TV and we read about them in a newspaper. No matter what our beliefs are about guns, we need to be thoroughly familiar with gun safety. If we decide to handle a gun, there are hundreds of gun safety rules that we need to follow, and we should become familiar with each one. However, there are 5 basic safety rules that everyone needs to know whether they own a gun or not. And they are: number 1, never point a gun at anything you do not intend to destroy. Number 2, never touch the trigger. The gun might go off. Number 3, guns are always loaded. Always. Even if you know it's unloaded, you should treat the gun as if it is loaded. Number 4, never mix drugs and alcohol with guns. Ever. They don't mix. And number 5, always be cautious of the way other people handle guns. You may not get a second chance.
Let's meet John Eckhoff, former Marine combat veteran, over 30 years in law enforcement, and still holds a Master Peace Officer license, and police firearms instructor for over 25 years.
If you're a parent, it is your responsibility, whether you own guns or not, to teach your children about firearm safety. We read about and hear about every day where children have been injured, schools, and drive-by shootings, innocent victims. It really doesn't matter where you live, in the big metropolitan cities or in America's farmland. Guns are everywhere. It's your responsibility to educate your children about firearm safety. I ask you to consider the consequences of letting the television and the newspapers educate your children about firearm safety.
Sally, I'm gonna call your mom and see if you can stay and play, okay?
Sally, wanna play cops and robbers?
No, I told my mommy I wouldn't.
Oh, come on, let's play cops and robbers. It's funner.
No, I told my mommy I can't.
How come?
Because guns are bad and they kill people.
I never killed people. I just shot them in the arm like a Lone Ranger. Okay, let's play hide and seek. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Ready or not, here I come.
If you're a parent, it's your responsibility, whether you own guns or not, to teach your children about gun safety. Sorry. Parents, whether you own a gun or not, you're responsible to make sure that tragedies like this don't happen.
Knowing about gun safety can never hurt you. Not knowing about it can. Learning about gun safety applies to everyone, everywhere, no matter your beliefs, gender, or national origin. Knowing about gun safety can only help you. It's never too early to learn about gun safety. It applies to everyone. Let's see how this education can be useful.
Well, it sure was nice of your friend to let us borrow his car.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh,
What?
he's got guns in there.
I didn't even know he had any guns.
We'll just not touch them. They might be loaded. Let's put the groceries in the back seat.
The back seat's full of clothes. Looks like we're gonna have to put them in the trunk. It's okay. I'll move them.
What do you know about guns?
I play with them all the time on my computer.
Oh, great.
What?
These are real guns, Dave.
So?
So they're not toy guns. They're real.
Oh.
Here. My mom and I watched a gun safety video a couple of months ago.
Your mom watched a video on gun safety?
Look, just because she doesn't like them doesn't mean she's got to be ignorant about them like you are. It said not to point them at anyone. And it said don't touch the trigger because all guns are always loaded. There! Nobody hurt.
Because of the abundance and availability of guns in our world today, it is extremely important that you would have an education about gun safety. The chances of you or a loved one coming into contact with a gun are extremely high. It is estimated that 1 out of every 3 homes in this country have a gun of some type, whether it's a pistol, rifle, or shotgun. Not knowing about gun safety is the real killer. Let's go over the 5 basic safety rules again.
Never, ever point a gun at anything you don't want to destroy. Always keep your finger away from the trigger. All guns are always loaded. Always. Never, ever mix drugs and alcohol with guns. Ever. Always be watchful for unsafe gun handling. If it looks unsafe, if it feels unsafe, then it is.
I think Mom's funeral went well, don't you?
Yes, I do. I feel kind of creepy going through her belongings like this.
I know. I feel like a thief or something.
Well, at least she lived a long life. She's got a great son to be proud of.
She couldn't have asked for a better daughter-in-law than you.
Jack, come look at this.
What was Mom doing with a gun?
Is it loaded?
I don't know. Maybe we better call someone.
Well, we don't even know anyone who has a gun.
Remember that video that we bought for the kids about gun safety?
Yes.
Well, it said, leave the gun alone and don't touch it.
Well, how are we supposed to do that? We're supposed to have the place cleaned out for the realtor.
We'll clean another part of the house and we'll call the police.
Okay.
Found a gun in the nightstand right over there. I don't know if it's loaded or not.
Sir, the gun was loaded. You did the right thing by calling us and not touching it at all. Most people think that they know how to handle guns from watching TV.
Well, I don't know anything about guns. Matter of fact, I'm surprised Mom even had a gun in the house.
Well, I was wondering, if you didn't know anything about guns, how did you know not to touch it and to call us?
Oh, well, my wife and I, we bought a gun safety video for our kids because their friends' parents have guns in the house and we wanted them to be equipped with the proper knowledge.
It's a good thing that you did. Most parents are not responsible about gun safety as they should be. I can't tell you how many times I've seen accidents that could have been avoided if just some basic gun safety rules had been followed.
Thank you, officer, for coming.
No problem.
I'm glad we brought that safety video for the family. Never thought we had to use it.
Okay, Lou, see you later. Having been around guns all my life, I can't stress the need for gun safety enough. It doesn't make any difference if you're a kid, an adult, or a gun owner. Gun safety is still an issue. Many times we see guns as a negative part of our society because of the negative ways that we see guns being used. With proper gun safety education, these negligent accidents don't have to occur. We recommend that you take your gun safety training from a professional who is a certified firearms instructor. The way you really practice can help you in the real world where it really counts. We've already talked about the 5 basic safety rules. Let's watch this next scenario together, and I want you to ask yourself the question, what would I do?
I wish you'd put that thing up. It makes me nervous.
I got it for our protection around the house and when we go see the kids. Besides, I had one when I was in the military.
That was over 50 years ago, and you haven't touched one of those things since.
I just like riding a bicycle. You never forget. Why are you so nervous? It's empty now anyway.
Oh, I wish you'd put that thing up and stop pointing at everything.
I told you it was unloaded.
Unfortunately, things like this happen all too often. Gun safety is a serious responsibility that no matter your experience level or background, needs to be reviewed frequently and practiced religiously. Not knowing how to operate a gun not only endangers yourself, but those around you as well. Our education about the effects of drugs and alcohol while driving or operating machinery has taught us that they do not mix. Don't mix drugs and alcohol with guns. Don't even think about it.
As with any piece of equipment or machinery, the use of it depends on the skill of the operator handling it. If the operator handles the equipment or machinery in a less than safe manner, an accident is likely to happen. And as always, the use of alcohol or drugs while using that tool is very dangerous and should never ever happen. When we get behind the wheel of a car, we don't think, if I don't follow the safety rules, I could kill someone. Instead, we think, if I don't follow the rules, I'll get a ticket. The difference between a gun and a car is 3,000 pounds. For those of you who own a gun, strict adherence to the safety rules is a must. Complacency with a gun is just as bad as not knowing the safety rules to begin with. Can you pass the firearm safety test? Using the 5 basic safety rules and your common sense, can you identify the accident before it occurs?
Oh man, you know it, man. We're going to get him. We're going to get that deer this weekend. Yeah, no problem.
He's going to be dead.
Oh yeah. Hey,
so got those big 12 pointers out there?
Oh gosh, you know it, man. They're all set up, just waiting for us to go.
We're going to look right at him.
Yeah.
Take one.
Hey, I got a little something special for this weekend, man. You gotta see.
What you got? What you get?
Come on, let's see it. What you got?
Oh man! Wow.
Oh man! Come on. Oh, wait, get over here. Come on, get over here.
As you have just seen, gun safety education is for everyone, no matter your age, gender, or national origin. This place does not discriminate, and neither does the gun.
You know, between us we have over 100 years of firearm safety. I know you've heard it before, but you never hear it too often. Listen again to the principles of firearm safety.
Never, ever point a gun at anything you don't want to destroy. Always keep your finger away from the trigger. All guns are always loaded. Always. Never, ever mix drugs and alcohol with guns. Ever. Always be watchful for unsafe gun handling. If it looks unsafe, if it feels unsafe, then it is.
And remember, don't ever argue over a gun. Just leave, and leave as fast as you possibly can.
Armed with the knowledge of the 5 basic safety rules and your common sense, hopefully, we will never find you here. Because John, Jim, and I do not want your ghost to say to us, "If only I had the proper education."